Hey, what's up? I'm your host, Christian Patterson, here to bring you this week's edition of TV20's Inside Sports Report. 6 high schools across the district gathered at John Adams High School for the 2017 Senate Wrestling Championship.
First of all, wrestling is a tough sport. These guys that compete, I don't know how they do it. One-on-one, it's like boxing. One-on-one, everybody's looking at you. You get no notoriety unless you're in the big time, WFC or whatever it is. It's really tough, but we're glad to have this. We wish we had a feeder program because a lot of our students come in, student athletes come in the 9th grade year, and to get it in 4 years for wrestling is extremely tough because it's skill-based, as you already know that. But we're really glad with the teams that we do have here. I think we have 7 teams here today competing out of our high schools. And we're at John Adams, and John Adams, I think, has won for the last couple of years as well. So I give these kids credit for coming out, and also their parents for coming and watching these kids participate as well.
When these student athletes approach the mat, it's game time. They have to make sure they're mentally and physically ready for the task at hand, because although they're a part of a team, they walk onto the mat alone.
You know, high school wrestling go back a long way, and it's a physical one-on-one. In wrestling, just like in boxing, you have nobody to blame if you make your mistakes, and that's a lot of conditioning in wrestling than it is in boxing. Some people could take up boxing, but wrestling, that's a different beast there when you got pressure on you constantly all the time. So you got to be in shape.
A good wrestler needs footwork, good technique, and they need to be conditioned. John Adams head coach, David Partee, talks about what's important for his guys to get the win.
It's important just wrestle hard. Wrestle hard, go hard. Like, wrestling is a mental sport, it's chess. You gotta wrestle hard and just go out there with the tenacity that no one can beat you. If you do that, good things will happen.
The entire John Adams squad was hoping for great things to happen. Adams has been dominating in the Senate, winning the championship the past 2 years and 4 times in the past 5 years. So what would a three-peat mean to Coach Partee?
I mean, it would mean wonders because I had won it 2 years before, and then we lost a three-peat bid. So this is our second three-peat bid, and I'm hoping to just come back with it. 7 years to be here, that'll be 5 championships in 7 years with 2 runner-ups. So we're just looking to build on the tradition we already established, and hopefully we come out on top.
One of John Adams' top wrestlers is senior Derek Burridge. He won the Senate championship 2 years ago. Last year, Derek broke his elbow before the Senate championship and was sidelined. So he's determined to get a win this year.
I worked hard, worked on moves that I didn't know to get them better. And my preparation coming into here was just getting focused and making a goal and going forward.
As the championship tournament started, the competition started heating up. Some matches were won by basic technical moves, and some matches were won by simply outmuscling the opponent.
Control. Who's actually making the motion, who's actually scoring. They try to keep it going constantly. Right now they got a new rule. You got to tape up your shoelaces or Velcro so we don't stop the match. We want it to go quick. So a person has to move. The bottom man has to get up, make every attempt to get up, and the top man must improve his move and try to work on that circle that they have in there. And that's important to keep everything moving.
John Marshall hasn't won a Senate Wrestling Championship since 2000, but head coach Russell Germain was totally confident in his wrestlers walking into this championship. Halfway through the tournament, John Marshall held the lead while Rhodes, Glenville, and John Adams trailed closely.
My past 8 years, we've come in 3rd and 2nd. So to get a win here for the kids, for the school, would be outstanding. It means a lot.
All 6 wrestling programs represented themselves well. Each school had at least one wrestler to place in the top 3 of each weight division. Glenville's Deshaun Bush Pierce showed up and showed out. Not only did he take first place in his weight class, this marks the 3rd year in a row he's won his division.
Just feel amazing. I feel like I'm the best in the Senate, which I know I am.
On top of a 3-time champion, Glenville's Pepe Miller won the Senate's Most Outstanding Wrestler of the Year award.
I'm very excited. I just wish my dad was here. You know, I came from Tennessee to Cleveland, Ohio to wrestle with Glenville, and if he was here, he just passed away, but I know he'd be very proud of me, and I accept this reward gratefully for him, and I'm very happy and very generous. Thank you for this reward.
And as great as it is to see these student athletes receive their accolades, the coaches that put in the time and effort to develop these young athletes deserve acknowledgement as well. This year's Coach of the Year award went to Pat Krestoff, head wrestling coach for Rhodes High School.
I mean, the 11 dedicated kids are what got me there. I mean, they came every single day. They worked hard. You're not going to get Coach of the Year if you are not going to finish in the top 2 in the tournament. I mean, they're not going to look at you. It wouldn't make sense. So it's a peripheral award. I'm happy about it, but I mean, I'm most happy about the team championship.
Yes, a championship. You heard it right. Rhodes High School and John Marshall High School tied for first place in the 2017 Senate Wrestling Championship.
Brought 11 kids to the tournament today. There's 14 weight classes, so we were a little short-handed, but the kids came through and we tied for the championship. Yeah, it feels great. It's a big weight off our shoulders. We've been talking about it all year long. We stumbled a little bit today. Some of the kids, our key kids, lost that we were expecting some victories from, but the 2 kids that did win championships were actually 2 kids we didn't expect. So they really carried us and helped us get where we wanted to be.
Congratulations to Rhodes and John Marshall for winning this year's Senate Wrestling Championship. And good luck moving on to regional and state tournaments. Don't touch the remote. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with more of TV20's Inside Sports Report.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality.
He's the one who always takes me fishing.
I watch golf with him.
I watch him cook, because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too.
We have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.
Welcome back to TV20's Inside Sports Report. I'm your host, Christian Patterson. In celebration of Black History Month, the Cleveland Cavaliers recognized Dr. Guy Bluford for his decorated career as a NASA astronaut, and Annie Easley for her amazing math and computer engineering work at the NASA John H. Glenn Research Center in Cleveland, Ohio.
As part of the Cavaliers' Black Heritage Celebration, tonight we reflect on the recent film Hidden Figures. This film tells the little-told story of some of NASA's African-American female mathematicians whose contributions were not widely known, but helped secure the space race for the United States.
T-minus 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. We have engine start. 2, 1. We have ignition and we have liftoff. Liftoff. 32 minutes after the hour, and the shuttle has cleared the tower.
From the mid-1930s through the 1970s, NASA's computers were human, and all of them women, and many African American. They solved complex equations and performed thousands of calculations in NASA's wind tunnels and research division. Many of these remarkable women work here in Cleveland. Annie Easley began her career in 1955 as a human computer, and when hired, she was one of only 4 African-American employees at the center. As technology advanced, so did Annie. She became a computer programmer supporting NASA missions and projects. In the 1970s, Easley returned to school to earn her degree in mathematics from Cleveland State University.
You can be anything you want to. It doesn't matter what you look like, what your size is, what your color is. You can be anything you want to, but you do have to work at it.
In 2015, Annie was inducted into the inaugural class of the NASA Glenn Research Center Hall of Fame to honor her exemplary career. Hidden Figures focuses on the contributions of 3 remarkable women who overcame social obstacles to help John Glenn become the first American to orbit the Earth 55 years ago this month. Another historic flight took place in 1983.
I am really looking forward to the experience of flying in space and actually contributing both to the NASA mission as well as the success of the Space Shuttle program.
Dr. Guyon Bluford Jr. aboard the Space Shuttle became the first African American to fly into space.
The President is on the line. Guy, congratulations. You, I think, are paving the way for many others, and you're making it plain that we are in an era of brotherhood here in our land, and you will serve as a role model for so many others and be so inspirational that I can't help but express my gratitude to you.
He would make a total of 4 trips into space while logging 688 hours. Dr. Bluford was a decorated pilot in the United States Air Force. Since retiring from the Air Force and NASA, Dr. Bluford continued work in the aerospace industry and calls Cleveland home.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to center court, Dr. Guyon Bluford. Today, NASA continues to embrace the legacy of trailblazers and inclusion. Joining Dr. Bluford on the floor tonight are some of the modern figures from the Glenn Research Center right here in Cleveland. Please welcome Lysalyn Smith, Dr. Dion Hernandez-Lugo, Dr. Quinyao Nugent, Carol Tolbert, and Dr. Janet Kavandi, Director of the NASA Glenn Research Center and a veteran astronaut with 3 space flights to her credit. Their work expands the reach of human and robotic explorers in air and space, and together, NASA and the Cleveland Cavaliers are inspiring one generation to the next. Fans, let's hear it one more time for our distinguished guest here with us this evening.
The extraordinary achievements made by these 2 pioneers have continued to open doors for minorities in the field of math and science. We're truly grateful for their contributions to space flight. Thanks for watching the Inside Sports Report. Make sure you continue to tune in each and every week for an inside scoop on our Cleveland sports scene. Now stay tuned for the bottom line up front with City of Cleveland Media Relations Director Dan Williams.